met someone who just listens. Like, actually listens. My dad used to always say, you have two of these and one of these, and I never really understood, and to be honest, I thought it was a bit passive-aggressive at the time, but now, clear as day.
I loved Sweet Potato. I loved the writing of it. I loved the style of narration over the video. It felt very vulnerable. It felt very real, like somebody was reading out of their diary, or you know, those really intimate conversations you have, like sitting in a car at 3 a.m. She's revealing to you her innermost thoughts and fears and feelings, about being in this relationship that doesn't feel right. There's a lot of things that she loves about it. It's very intense and it's passionate, but there's also a lot of things that aren't right. And I feel like a lot of us have been in situations or relationships like that. And then when we see it contrasted with her friend, and we see that, no, it's not right because this other person is right. It was just really beautiful. It was really thoughtful, and I enjoyed it. And I liked how they ended it too, where we're kind of brought back to the present moment, and she's made this dinner and he's kind of ignoring her. I thought it was very, very, very well done. I really enjoyed this.
I really like Sweet Potato. It told a lot of story in a short amount of time, which speaks to really good writing, really good directing, and a really efficient storytelling craft. I think the idea of doing like just one big montage and telling the story through montage is really cool and really engaging. And as opposed to like doing a drawn out like narrative like thing, I think this really like pulls the viewer in doing it that way. So I think that was a great choice. Also, I really like the music, and overall, it was really well done. So good job.
So I just wanted to say great job on Sweet Potato. I really particularly loved the editing of this film. I thought it really captured the idea that the relationship was kind of a whirlwind with all the quick cuts and stuff like that. I thought there was just great chemistry between the leads without dialogue, which is super impressive and a testament to their acting skills. And I liked that it was a voiceover rather than dialogue, because it was kind of like, it almost felt like we were watching this character kind of relive all these moments and really just contemplate the whole relationship. And the cinematography and lighting were just amazing, and looked so professional. It almost reminded me of like Taylor Swift's short film for All Too Well, which I loved. And I just think it was overall a really great film, so congratulations.
So I'm going to say how I feel from two different perspectives. The perspective, just because of how that ending hit me, the perspective of if she said all of that out loud, or if all of that was in her head and then she asked that last question at the end. First one's really short. If she said that out loud, he's a dick. Yeah, she just ended. But if all of that was in her head and then she said that last question, that kind of makes it a bit more introspective, in the sense that I think Sweet Potato did a very phenomenal job of comparing and contrasting the shallow relationship versus the deep relationship. With the shallow relationship, everything is, you're on cloud nine, heaven on earth, pure ecstasy. Everything is perfect. It's hot, it's heavy, it's fiery, it's passionate, but as intense as that fire is, it gradually dies. Whereas the deep relationship, it's more of a slow burn. You're gradually building up to it, you're getting to know the person, and I think that's the biggest difference between the two, getting to know the person. There was definitely a physical attraction in that first relationship, but as time went on, she started to realize that they didn't have much in common. It wasn't a relationship where things were being done because the other wanted to. It was more a relationship being done because they felt like they had to. Compromises had to be made because they weren't compatible. They liked different things, and that's okay. You're allowed to like different things, but the hard truth is that sometimes that might mean that you guys might not work out for each other. Or you can continue to make compromises and you know, you're just at odds. If you can make it work, you can make it work. But for a lot of people, that's one of the downsides when you realize that you guys don't have a lot in common. But I think another thing that this one did a good job of showcasing is just that inner conflict. You know, when you're in a relationship, that's a commitment. And growing feelings for someone else is a huge problem with that. And you have to ask yourself the question, what do? Do you break it off? Do you repress those feelings? You know, because there's that sensation of like, well, this is my significant other. I chose to be with them. And now I'm starting to have feelings for someone else. And then another good point that was brought up, youth, you know, you're still young. And relationships and marriage are something that's long-term. You're basically saying, you are the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And this is going to be a weird analogy, but just like a tattoo, you really have to choose wisely with that, because that's going to be with you for a very long time. And just like a tattoo, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money to get rid of it. So, yeah, I think that was a very introspective take on relationships. Very muddled, very confusing, relationship-wise. The short was very good, and I very, very much enjoyed it. But, you know, it definitely made me think a lot.
I love how she works through her doubts about him and how her friend Sam seems to care and listen to her way more. The upbeat soundtrack really works well for the pace of the film. Excellent job. Sweet Potato, check it out.
I just got ahead of this thing a little too quickly. It seemed pretty clear that we were going to arrive at the end and she was going to be talking to him and he wasn't going to be listening. That just popped in my head about halfway through this thing, and then that's what happened. That's never good. But you know, it wasn't bad. The writing was pretty good. You know, the monologue was done well. You know, the cinematography was fine. It just kind of left me kind of meh.
I really enjoyed this. I thought that it was beautifully shot and it was incredibly acted. I thought all of the actors did an amazing job with this. It was very believable. They had me hooked from the very, very first moment. And the voiceover when she starts talking about the advice that her parents had given her, it's so true. And everything that she's saying and the depth of the emotions of what she's talking about, I think we all, it's something that's relatable. We can all relate to that. I loved the ending. I thought that was very clever and very, very funny. It was really well done.